Would you recommend against going into media and broadcasting nowadays?
You know what? No, but I really feel like the real thinking is happening in the podcast realm. The challenge is when you work for big corporate media, that comes with some baggage. Like I've worked on shows where the show has a viewpoint, right? The show has a viewpoint. And then there's my viewpoint, but does my viewpoint allow with, can it coexist with the show's viewpoint? I'm an opinion, so it's a little bit different. But it seems like even, straight up, supposedly objective journalism is rich in opinion these days. So I feel that corporate media in many ways doesn't allow people to just be, there's always someone to answer to above you. So the number of people truly that I've worked with, and it's sad, that say one thing on camera and then say one thing when the camera is, it's a lot of people, a lot, because they feel that they can't say that because they'll lose their job or their boss will get mad or an advertiser will get mad or the producer says, say this, but not that. Then people aren't getting really unfiltered commentary, Right. And I understand people get worried about, if I do this, am I going to lose my job and whatnot? So I think that's far too prevalent across the board. So I like these, I follow like the Joe Rogans. I don't agree with everything he says, but I really believe that he's telling me what he thinks. And I think a lot of these people in the podcasting space Dave Rubin is another one who've disconnected themselves from these big companies or found themselves in a company where they really feel like their voice is their voice and that's it. That's where to go, truly. They're making big dents. And I think there's a comfort that comes with that too, because you are actually free. It's very hard to navigate those situations where you have an opinion, but you kind of have to tailor it. I don't do that well, which is why I've been fired a couple of times. But regardless, I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to have really good conversations and, say how I feel. And sometimes that's going to be unpredictable and a little off the wall, but that's my opinion, and there's someone out there that's like, yeah, I feel like that too. So let's have a conversation. I really just want people talking more than anything. But I think that a lot of these big networks, it's a challenge to be that and to exist there in those spaces. I mean, it was even hard for me, thinking if I were to one day work at a company that had, say mandates in place, but I was anti-mandate and got an exemption. How does that fit in? That's a lot to think about. How do you navigate that? For me, it would be true to myself and what I believe, but it gets a little bit tricky, those things. So I look at all these people also that work for themselves and they seem infinitely less stressed. I will say they're just like, I built this, much like building a bench. I built this, it's mine. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do what I love and people will come who want to be a part of it. Broadcast media doesn't always work like that. So
when's your podcast coming out then?
My podcast? Yeah, we're in talks for some stuff like that, actually.
Good.
I really want, people always say, what are you doing next? What are you doing next? Yeah. And, I've had some curveballs thrown at me this year. A few that I was like, wow, okay. But, the mandates being the last of which kind of shifted some job opportunities in different directions. But more than anything, I want to be free. Like that, I write about it. I want to just tell people and I want to have people on that challenge me and I want that open discussion. So there is a possibility of that. But my priority in this industry, I got into this business, not because I was a journalist and not because had spent, years as, working for a politician. I didn't come from a political family. I got into this because I was just someone with an opinion who felt like there are people out there who see the world like me. Let's have a conversation. So if that's not happening, I'm not interested. So I can either go where that is happening or I can build it, which has become very interesting to me, the concept of building, especially, coming off of this year where you're subject to a lot of rules that don't work for you. You're like, well, if I build something, then that doesn't happen. So, which I'm sure I mean, you built something and it's got to be very rewarding to feel that, you don't have to worry quite as much. You do have to worry, but not quite as much.
You still got to worry, but it's in your control how much you worry and what you're going to do about that worry, right? Mm-hmm. It's not that the stress isn't there because it's your own. It's actually much more in front of your face, but you get to tackle it how you want to. And that kind of changes the whole element of being frustrated in something. It's all on you, which is scary for some people, but it's also, again, empowering.